Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Huddersfield Town on TV for our weekly live show, check-in show. Yes, indeed, we are back to discuss a few things this evening, including, of course, the search for the manager continues. Another week passed, no news from the club, and the indecisive nature of our board is running fans' patience very thin, including myself. So yes, we're going to go through. There's been a few changes to the odds for the next manager, so we're going to go through a little bit of that. You know, we're going to share our thoughts and things like that, and also any questions as well you want to ask this evening. Feel free to get them in, and I will cover them at the end of the show as well. But yes, we're going to start with the manager. A bit of news on the director of football. I've seen a bit of a rumour going around as well with that one, so we're going to cover that as well. But yes, hope you are all doing very well. Please do drop a like, subscribe, and get your comments in throughout the show as well. I love hearing your guys' thoughts as well, you know what I mean? You guys make the show what it is, absolutely indeed. But yes, I do want to say thank you very much, everybody, for all your support recently. Honestly, it's just mind-blowing. Like, the community is growing, and yeah, like I say, I'm making sure I'm consistent Monday to Friday. And of course, a fly has to crash the live, as it always does on my streams. But yes, I do appreciate everybody's support lately, you know what I mean? And like I say, the subscribers have gone up as well. No, we're getting closer. Can we get to 850 subscribers by the end of this show, guys? Yes, we are getting closer to the next target, of course. But yeah, big up to you all. Let's see who is in the chat this evening. Mike, there's still no news about a new manager and a new director of football. Yes, another week wasted, in my opinion. People keep telling me to stop panicking and calm down and all this rubbish, but no, I'm sorry. You know, anybody with a bit of common sense will know that we have got a lot to do this summer, and you know what I mean. And the new season will come around quickly. We haven't got time. We need players through the door. We need a manager. We need a director of football if that's the avenue we're going down. We need lots of players. Our squad is now we've only got 18 players. You know what I mean? 18 from 42. There is so much work to be done, and I'm just we just haven't got time to be wasting, in my opinion. But yes, disappointing. There's no news about that. Michael's evening, I hope you're okay. Big up to you, Michael. Yes, doing all right. Thank you. Hope you're well too, and thank you for joining me this evening. Make sure you do drop a like, guys. If you haven't already, drop a like. Joe Savage is the name I've heard for supporting. Right, I've heard another name actually, Blue Terrier, but yes, we'll get into it in a moment. I'm not sure where. Have you seen it from a reliable source, that one, or is it from? Because I've got an actual article that I'm gonna get up in a moment. Well, not in a moment. We'll move on to the manager situation first, and then. But yes, I've got an article. Yeah, Noah, I'm doing all right, thank you. Like I say, I'm not. Yes, I'm doing all right, thank you. But look, like we said, let's get straight into the show then, without further ado. 28 days without a director of football, 68 days since we last had a permanent manager, and 14 days today, 2 weeks today until the transfer window opens. And here we are tonight, seemingly nowhere close to appointing either a sporting director or a manager, and it is really, really annoying. You know, what on earth are they messing about at in that board? I will never know. But look, for me, Also, yes, as well. At the end of the show, I'm going to cover. I've got a few. I put a few polls out on my social media today about manager and things. So we're going to go through those polls in a minute at the end of the show. And yes, some interesting choices as well for manager, as well, which we'll cover. But look, I think it's safe to say, guys, that David Wagner will not be coming back. Reports, as we've already covered on the show, reports did suggest that he has rejected the chance to return to the club. More, I think, to do with the fact is that the clowns that are running the show, he's not happy with the things that he's been told or whatever, rather than not actually wanting to return. As we all know, he'll always have Huddersfield Town in his heart. But I just think he just doesn't think he can do. He's not being given the base or the foundations he feels that he can work in, and that's fair enough. We can't begrudge him of that. But yes, so I think really the David Wagner dream. Look, he's still on the list to become the manager, but he's not the favourite anymore. He has dropped down a little bit, and until he actually says he's out of the reckoning, then he'll remain on that list, I guess. But I just don't think it. I think if he would have happened, if he was going to come, he would have already come by now, in my opinion. That's just my view. But yes, we have got a new favourite. We have got a new favourite of who is going to be the next manager, and that is Ruben Sellers. Yes, indeed, he has become the favourite at the bookies, and of course, Ruben was sacked by Hull City a few days ago. Is this somebody that everybody would get? How would you feel if Ruben Sellers came in? Now his record in England, he's managed 124 games, won 45, drawn 31, lost 48. A win percentage is 36.29. And now, obviously, Sellers was given the task of keeping Hull in the Championship when he joined the club from Reading in December. And although he achieved his mission on the final day of the season, he was shown the door by Hull City's owners. Indeed, it was an inconsistent season at the MKN Stadium for him, but it should not be forgotten how well Ruben performed at Reading, of course. Despite the points deductions, transfer embargoes and failed takeovers, Sellers led the club into the playoff positions under his tenure. Although the club ultimately missed out on the top 6 spot by 3 points, however, but he still did very well at Reading under those circumstances. Obviously, the former Southampton boss will not be short of offers in the summer, and obviously we are. It has been advised that we need to move quickly if we are to get him in. So if this is their man, then you need to be acting quickly. I just don't think quick. I don't think the word quick is in the vocabulary in our boardroom. It seems to be slow motion FC. But yes, he is the favourite. And look, I think for me, you know what I mean? And I've got some, I saw a post on social media today, and a few Hull City fans were kind of laying down his strengths and weaknesses and things like that. So I'm going to get to that in a moment. But in fact, let's get to it now, actually. We are going to get to the comments in a moment. Now, Hull City fans, yes. So, like I said, they did say that his strengths were that he's he's good in front of the media. He sets up his teams, and he sets up his teams very well, and defensively very solid. Man management, understanding and preparation as well. Weaknesses, not flexible enough with formations for the players available, apparently. Not being proactive enough, only reactive in games, and sometimes way too late with the subs. needs time with a team. Somebody said, and then so like this, when he took over Hull, they were actually 12th in the form guide, fourth best defence in the league, and he's very good with. He brings you. He he's good with youth, develops players, gives them chances. So yeah, I mean, for me, I think for me, look, I wouldn't be disappointed if he came in. Put it that way, guys. Ruben has got pedigree, and he did do well at Reading. Despite all the issues off the field and the transfer, all the off-field issues, still remained professional in his work, despite not knowing whether he was going to get paid or not from a week-to-week basis. I think he's a good manager, yeah. And like I said, didn't have any budget to work with at Reading, and he still managed to get them in the playoffs. Now, people will say that, the critics out there will say that he only just kept Hull up, but the reality is they were in a rubbish situation when he came in. Let's not forget when he came in, and like I said, the form guide suggests if he would have been there from the start of the season, then he would have been around 12th place. So I like the fact that he gets his defence solid, and I think that's always the foundations of a team, isn't it? Get your defence. Be defensively solid. That is what you need as the base, right? And then, if you're defensive solid and you keep loads of clean sheets, then that means that it alleviates the pressure off our forwards, and it gives you a chance in every game to win. Ultimately, if you're not conceding that many goals, obviously, So look, for me. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind this appointment at all, if I'm being honest with you guys. I wouldn't, I would like it, yeah. But anyway, let's get to the comments. I have been, once I start talking, guys, you know what I'm like. Let's have a look. Blue Terry says, Wagner not happening. Doesn't sound like through lack of trying, though. Well, yeah, like I said, though, but the thing is, you've got to lay down a clear plan and a structure, and clearly he's not being given that clear plan and structure from the people from the board, and look, it doesn't surprise me. So look, I don't really care if it's not from a lack of trying, Blue Terry, in all due respects. The reality is I just don't trust the people in the board at the moment, unfortunately, and that's it. So you just don't know what they're going to do. Sean Dyche, absolutely not. And I don't think he would come. I don't think he'd drop down to League One anyway, to be honest with you. Blue Terry says Sellers would be a great appointment, in my opinion. Hull would regret sacking him. Yeah, I mean, look, he kept him up. 12th in the form guide, as I said. When he joined him in December, sorry. And yeah, I think the owners at Hull, though, are very, very they sack managers very easily. And maybe that's coming. Maybe that, to be fair, no, it's not. It's not kind of been because, like I say, who are we to talk about managers when we've been sacking managers left, right, and centre? But I think that's just down to the wrong appointments that we've made time and time again. But I just think the whole owners, I'm not too sure what that is about. They may regret sacking him, indeed. Yeah, the club's not in a good place for Wagner to return. Yeah, no, it's not the right time, is it? It just doesn't feel like it's the right time for him to join. Look, maybe in the future, but not now. Ruben had no right to do well at Reading, Blue says, but he did, and he deserves massive credit for it. Yeah, no, he does. He deserves massive credit for it. You know what I mean? And seems like a very approachable guy, likable guy as well. You know what I mean? And I think look, we want a manager that's good in this league, and you know what I mean, and can, but we also want the manager with the right character and personality about him as well, don't we? I know that maybe that's at the bottom of people's priorities in terms of character and personality, but you don't want a bad character or a personality we can't really connect with. You know what I mean? We need somebody that we can connect with in some way, if that makes sense. So look, Ruben, I wouldn't mind him at all. I really wouldn't. That is just me being honest. Hull also lost a lot of key players from the season. They finished 7th. Yeah, no, exactly. So look, I think he did do well at Hull. You know what I mean? And like I say, considering when he came in at Hull, was they in a really? They were obviously in the I think they were in the relegation zone when he came in, and obviously, yeah, they were in big trouble when he came in, and yeah, he managed to get out of it. So yes, rumours that former sporting director of football Ross Wilson might be coming back. Yes, Michael, you're right. Obviously, I am going to cover that. That is the sporting director that I've seen has been linked with. So I'm going to cover that in a moment. But we're just going to keep going through the managers. So yes, Ruben Sellers, absolutely would be a good appointment. And yes, I think it would be a good start to get him in. But like I said, we haven't got time to be wasting. They need to get on with it because, like I say, he will be a manager that a few clubs may be looking at. And yeah. But we'll see what happens. Another name on that list at the moment, Tom Cleverley. Now, what do people make of Tom Cleverley, who obviously was sacked from Watford? Now, if you look at his record, obviously, it lasted 52 games, so basically a full season, wasn't it? 1.27 points per game ratio. Now, Watford's aim was to reach the playoffs, also get in the playoffs, and they fell way short of that. In the end, look, Cleverley is a new upcoming manager, isn't he? Relatively speaking, like I said, this is his first full season in first team management. Look, I think he's certainly a likeable character. Got a good personality. I'm a bit unsure on this one though, to be honest with you, because don't get me wrong, if he did drop down a league, would he be more effective? Would he be able to get the best? Would he be able to get his ideas across, and will he be able to be successful here? That's what you've got to ask yourself. And you know what I mean? The Championship is such a tough league to begin in, isn't it? You know, in my opinion, you know what I mean? I think the Championship is just such a tough league. And I think if a manager is just relatively starting out, I think League One probably is a nice starting point. So look, Tom Cleverley, what do you make of that? Would you like to see him come in? Would you not? Like I say, a very upcoming manager, new manager. And yeah, would he be able to do a job in League One? Would he be able to get promoted from League One? Look, I do have a bit of belief in him, to be honest, even though, you know what I mean, even though he's relatively inexperienced. But I'm a bit 50-50 at the moment with this one. And I'm going to sit on the fence. But, you know what I mean? But, yeah, that's my thoughts on it, really. Tom Cleverley, yes, no, let me know in the comment section. Now, other names I've seen, like Steve Holland. Look, Wayne Rooney is still getting mentioned, guys. It seems like it's, this morning especially, it feels like it's kind of gathering pace a little bit, this Rooney link. And I know everybody's opinions on this channel about Rooney coming in. Well, to be fair, every Town fan, to be honest with you. But I think for me, look, now, on Down at the Mac, which is a Huddersfield Town online fan forum online, there was a mock-up post of Rooney saying "Welcome Wayne." It looked like the similar one to when Michael Duff was appointed, actually. But there's been a lot of noise this morning about this, about Rooney being offered the job this morning. I think it's all guesswork and maybe wind-ups, really. But I just think if he was announced, it would just completely send the fan base into meltdown. It would have been honest. You know, look at his record, the clubs he's been at. Plymouth, played 25, won 5, drew 6, lost 14, points per game, 0.84. Birmingham City, played 15, won 2, drawn 4, lost 9, points per game, 0.64. DC United, 53 games, won 14, drew 13, lost 26, points per game, 1.04. Derby played 73, won 22, drew 17, lost 34, points per game, 1.14. Look, every team he has gone into, he has regressed. in all due respect. Look, I've got a lot of respect for Rooney. He was a fantastic player, of course. But I just don't think he's a very good manager, guys. I'm going to be honest. He is not a good manager. Hello to you, Jordan. How are you doing, bro? Good to see you in the chat. How's things? Good to see you in the chat, mate. Now, there was a poll that was put out on Down the Mark, and it says, who would you be happy with Wayne Rooney being appointed as town manager? And obviously, a lot of people, you know, it was a resounding no for most. 20 votes actually said yes, but 77 votes said no. But yeah, for me, not changed my mind on it, guys, at all. Wayne Rooney would be a disaster. And that is it. We cannot afford to take a gamble. And the reality is, if he was appointed, it would divide the fans even more, and it would keep fans away ultimately. That is the way I see it. When you're trying to get fans back on board, appointing somebody like Rooney, who, when you look at the stats that I've been through just there, it doesn't make for good reading at all. It doesn't fill you with any confidence or optimism or positivity about it. So, yeah, we need positivity, we need optimism. I think this man, Rooney would not be a good fit. We are going to go into the polls in a moment. In terms, I did a poll about the who would you like as manager, so we're going to go through that in a moment. But look, I don't think the club really can complain about lots not renewing season tickets at this point. When you look at it, people were clear they just wanted to know the direction of the club for next season and beyond. No manager or director of football still, and no clear plan. There's no clear. We don't have a clue what's going on. There is no clear plan set out by this owner. It's just all waffle, and you know this is what it is. And for me, if you don't get a clear plan out there, if you don't appoint the right manager, if you don't get the right director of football in, then I'm afraid there'll be no fans there next season. It'll be an empty stadium. Wayne says, no, not Rooney, good footballer, but rubbish manager. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I have a lot of respect for him as a footballer, but no, as a manager, I don't want to come across as disrespectful to Rooney, of course, but we just have to say our brutal opinions on this channel, guys. And for me, Rooney, no, I'm sorry. It just can't happen. But we are going to get up the link that we had with a potential sporting director. I did have the article, but for some reason it has... No, it's here. So yes, from teamtalk.com, it says Huddersfield Town are considering a bold move for Nottingham Forest chief Ross Wilson. Now, it says that Team Talk can exclusively reveal the 41-year-old who was formerly Rangers sporting director has played a key role in building Forest's strong squad. Now, we have set our sights on promotion, and he would be a good addition to this if we could get him in. We are considering offering Wilson a senior role at the club in which he would help drive the club's recruitment strategy over this summer and beyond. Wilson could now feel that now is the right time to take on a new challenge, and Team Talk understands that he's tempted by the opportunity to join Huddersfield Town. No formal offer has been made yet, however, but the expectation is that Wilson will get the opportunity, so it looks like he's going to be offered the job, back to the John Smith Stadium. Let me know your thoughts down below on this potential appointment. For me, yeah, look, get him in. Like I said, he's got a good track record of getting players in that propel teams. I know we don't like the Forest guys, but he's done a good job at Forest. You know what I mean? Recruitment's been good, And Ross Wilson has got a good track record. So for me, yeah, bring him in. And I would start to feel optimistic if we did bring him in and we brought in somebody like a Ruben Sellers as manager as well. That would be fantastic for us to see that happen. So yes, Ross Wilson as the potential sporting director. Let me know yes or no in the chat. But yes, I thought I'd cover that as well. So next up on the this is your time where we get in the Q&A section of the show. I will include the polls that I put out as well on who people want as next manager as well. I didn't actually include Sellers in the list because he wasn't really he wasn't even in the reckoning. So I didn't actually put him as one of the potential options. But yeah, I did get other people to say their own suggestions if it wasn't included in the list that I did. But yes, we're going to get to that in a minute. So yes, Q&A time. Get your questions in down below if you have any, of course. And we'll go through a few of those. But in the meantime, whilst we wait for that, I am going to reveal the polling results for the poll that I did. So yes, I did put it out to my ex-followers. Who do they want to see as the next Huddersfield Town manager? Now, surprise, I know said David Wagner is not going to come back, but I did put him on the list because he's still on the list, guys. So I have to put him on the list still. David Wagner got a resounding top of the list, 48%. Everybody wants him back, of course. Rob Edwards, 29%. So yes, he's the second favourite. I did put Wayne Rooney on there because he's on the top 4 favourites at the moment. But Wayne Rooney, 9%. Now, those 9% of people that did that, by the way, I think you were either trolling me or I think you were just taking the mick, or you know what I mean, or you don't like Huddersfield Town, so you just thought it'd be funny to vote Wayne Rooney. I don't know what it is, but 9% of people vote for Wayne Rooney. I don't believe I haven't seen anybody out there that wants Wayne Rooney as manager, so I don't know who was voting for Wayne Rooney in there. And then I said other, and I said please specify. So this is where we get into the comments of the people that have suggested a few names for us. So yes, big shout out to these guys getting involved in the poll. Terry and Nigel, big up to you, Terry and Nigel. He's giving me a couple of names here, but his number one choice is David Wagner. And then number 2, he's actually gone for Dave Challoner, who of course is the Stockport County manager. And he has got a fantastic record of promotions through the playoffs as well. And yes, done fantastically well with Stockport County, you know, to get them into the playoffs. I know they fell at the semi-final hurdle in the playoffs, but to even get in the playoffs, you know, it is a good achievement. So fair play to Dave Challoner. So Dave Challoner in there. And he put as his third choice. I'd be getting somebody from Spain, from the Basque Country, would do a decent job for us. Half the Premier League managers and Carlos are all from there. Yes, so Carlos Corbin, look, we know how good Carlos Corbin was with us. If only he was backed, where would we be now? It's all in hindsight, I guess, guys. But look, if he would have had Kevin Nagle in then, you know, I mean, he would have stayed. I think he would have stayed because he knew he'd get backed. But let's just get to the comments first before we continue my few people's answers on social media. Hi mate, sorry I can't stay, but before I pop in and say hello, hope you're okay, mate. Make sure to smash the likes and subscribe if you're new. Yes, big up to you, Aidan. How are you doing? No worries at all. I love your commitment, Aidan, because you know what? Even if you're busy, you always make sure you pop in for a few moments to to show your support. So that means a lot to me, mate, honestly. We are still on 847 subscribers. Guys, if you are new around here, 19 of you in here right now, drop that subscribe down below. It is free. And yes, it'd be good to gain a few this evening. 4 likes, guys. Come on, that is just tight. 19 of you in here right now, and only 5 likes. Come on, people. Don't be tight. It's a Friday. I'm on here providing you with some updates and putting in the hard graft. So do make sure you do drop a like. You are being very tight in the comments. You're being very tight with the likes this evening. So yes, make sure you do. I'll be checking back in a moment. But yes, big up to Aidan. Wayne says, Stephen Fletcher leaving Wrexham. Would you have him at Town as a player? Well, obviously he's experienced, isn't he? I don't know. It'd be good as a player maybe to have on the bench. But the problem is at the moment, Wayne, we need players that can go straight into the first team first, in my opinion. We can't be looking at the bench. We need starting play. We need players that can start week in, week out. Stephen Fletcher, as we know, is at the back end of his career, and he's not going to be able to do that at his age. So yeah, but potentially, but I'm not too sure, mate. Before I go, I have a player we could sign, Nathan Lowe from Stoke. Yeah, mate, obviously, I'm not sure if Stoke would actually be down for that, to be honest with you, because like obviously it depends if they want to keep him, because they did recall him from Walsall, didn't they? And just depends if they see him as part of their plans going forward into next season. If they don't, then potentially a loan to League One would be a good move for him, and we would absolutely take Nathan Lowe because he's a goal scorer. But the only problem I have with that, to be fair, it'll be a loan, so it won't really take much of the budget, will it? But I do think he's a similar kind of. He's not the tallest, is he? I don't think we do need another striker to come in as well with him, who's more of a target man. But again, it just depends which manager we actually get, because the manager that comes in might want to play it in a different way. You know what I mean? Not the long ball, not the direct way. They might want to play it in a different way. So we'll just have to wait and see. But look, Nathan Lowe, absolutely, we'd take him at Town. Absolutely, he's a real talent, isn't he? George up the chickens. Yes, Bradford City fan in here right now. Of course, we are coming up against you next season. It'll be a tasty West Yorkshire derby. Yeah, it will be a good one, to be fair. I can't remember. I don't even think, when was the last time we played Bradford? We haven't played you that often, have we? I can't remember. I've never known us play a league game against Bradford. To be honest with you, we've never been in the same league, and with God knows how long. But yes, Tom says, let's sign Jamie Cook from Halifax Town. He's a class player. He's different football league quality. Look, I think it's going to be a bit of a gamble signing somebody that. Look, I'm not saying there isn't gems in the non-league, because I'm not talking down at the non-league either, by the way. But I just think you never really know if they. To be fair, if they're performing well in the National League, that means that. But it's a big jump up from National League to League One, isn't it? You know what I mean? And it is a big gamble, that. But look, if you rate him, mate. But I've not really seen much of him to say. But you say he's a class player, so yeah. Looking forward to it. Joyce says it's been a while. Yeah, no, it has been a while, hasn't it? Like I said, I've not known us play a league fixture against you. Not in my lifetime, anyway. And Tom says Bradford don't have many fans. Anyways, let's get back into the polls. So yes, thank you, Terry and Nigel, for those couple of choices there. Dave Chalmers is a good shout as the next manager there, but that would lack ambition from the board, and I really don't think. Well, it's not that I don't. They've shown that they don't have any ambition, the board. So who knows? Ruben Sellers, Michael did suggest in my comment section earlier. Dylan has said a couple of names here as well, so let's get into these. Des Buckingham as number one choice did a good job at Oxford and was unlucky to get sacked. No, yeah, he was unlucky to get sacked. His second choice is Luke Williams. Plays good attacking front foot football. Did a good job at Notts County and wasn't disastrous at Swansea. Yeah, I mean, how many times the phrase that attacking front foot football is just scarred us, hasn't it? How many times have we said? How many times have we been told we're gonna get attacking front foot football from the managers that have come in, and it's just been complete opposite. But yeah, look, Luke Williams is a new name that's not many people have mentioned. I mean, fair play, mate. I mean, talk about a personality and a character. I think he was on as a pundit on Sky the other day for a playoff game. I think it was Notts County game, wasn't it? And yeah, he's just so bland to listen to. I'm not being rude, but just doesn't seem like any personality or character about him. But look, to be fair, if he's a good manager, he's a good manager. But he did a good job at Notts County, like Dylan said, and wasn't disastrous at Swansea either. So yeah. Although Stephen Shingles said he was 100% disastrous at Swansea. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought Swansea, Luke Williams, it was a disaster there either. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that one, but it is the viewer's opinion. So big up to you all. 11 likes on the stream. That's more like it. Let's keep dropping the likes. There's 20 of you here. There should be at least 20 likes, guys. Come on, don't be tight now. And his third choice is Rob Edwards, who, of course, did good jobs with small budgets at the likes of Forest Green and Luton. So that could work as well. So yeah, and plus, it won't be on a small budget here. We know that the money is available to spend. So therefore, what will he be able to do with that money? But again, we've kind of covered that in the previous shows, haven't we? Will he want to drop down the league? Will he want to drop down to League One? I don't know. Next person, Todd Connor, big up to you. He says Richie Wellens if the O's don't go up. Obviously, Leyton Orient manager, which is a good shout to be fair because Richie Wellens has done a very good job with Leyton Orient, hasn't he? I mean, on such a small budget as well. And he's managed to get a tune out of these players, and it's just an amazing story, really. Leyton Orient, getting to the playoffs and now obviously in the final. So yeah, he's a good manager. Dave Challoner again. So Challoner is proving to be a popular choice, and Ruben Sellers is the next one that he's gone with. Back for a minimum of one whole season. Yeah, I think the thing is, I agree with Todd here. Look. The manager that comes in now has to be given a full season. We cannot keep going hiring and sacking and hiring managers left, right, and centre because it's just not sustainable. And we need to give this new managers time, and that's it. So yeah, that he did make a good point at the end there. Seb, big up to you, Seb. He says either Wagner, Sellers, or Cleverly. So yeah, Cleverly, the first person that said Cleverly on the list. Yeah, nice choices, mate, to be fair. Stock Terrier, sorry. It says Dave Challoner as well. So again, Dave Challoner is proven to be popular. I'm not surprised, as I said. And then Dean Smith, big up to Dean. He says Luke Williams as well. So look, there's a few. So yeah, thank you so much everybody that contributed to that poll and obviously got in your comments if you voted other. It's much appreciated. But let me go back to what I was going to. Let's go back to my notes. Keith says Steven Gerrard. Yeah, to be fair, he had actually come onto the list, hasn't he, Steven Gerrard? Let's see what, I think he's like 14-1 at the moment, which is obviously an outsider, but he's still appeared on that list. Yeah, he's bottom of the list with 14-1. Look, I mean, for me, a bit 50-50 with Steven Gerrard. I think I'm not convinced with him as a manager, if I'm being honest with you. Like I said, at Rangers he did well, didn't he? But again, it's not hard doing well in Scotland. No disrespect, but it's literally Rangers, Celtic, FC in the Scottish Premier League. That's all there is. So yeah, it's not hard. Anybody can go there and get successful. It doesn't mean you're a good manager. Look at Brendan Rodgers. Was rubbish in England. Goes to Celtic, and look what he's won trophies there. And it's like, yeah, it's not hard. Aston Villa, obviously he went to Aston Villa there and he struggled, only lasting 40 games, not 40 games. And yeah, obviously his last job was in Saudi Arabia at Al Ettifaq. Yeah, that's the hard name to say. But yes, but for me, nothing suggests he will come here and be a success. And I'm not really convinced one bit by his management, like I said. And for me, I'm going to say no to Steven Gerrard. I'm not even sure he would drop down to League One, to be honest with you, either. Not that he's warranted going any higher because in this country, because like I say, based on his other jobs. But yeah, you know what? These ex-pros think they can, that have had good careers. You know what they're like. The self-entitlement is ridiculous. But yeah, I think that is it really. Any more final questions? Any more contributions? Get them in the chat. We are going to wrap up very, very soon because I do like to keep these live shows for an hour, but we're short of that at the moment. I do like to get to an hour though, but just a few other announcements though, to be fair. And if you do want to join, you're more than welcome. Tom, if you're still in, come and join if you want. Have your say as a guest for the last 10 minutes. But for me, yes, that's what I was saying. Announcements, yes. So guys, the rebrand of the channel is coming very, very soon. I promise you that. It is. I know I said it was meant to be on Monday, just gone on the 12th of May, but I decided to postpone that date because I just thought to myself, it's just not the right time. We're on the back of a rubbish season and just didn't think it was the right time. People are just thankful to have a break from football, aren't they now? And yeah, so I've actually moved it to the end, to mid-June, maybe towards the end of June. Haven't got a date set yet, but the full rebrand is coming. The streams will be back to branded as well, guys, next season. Just to let you know, obviously, haven't sorted my membership out at the moment to be able to have all the extra features, but that is obviously in the process. I'll probably move over to Restream because it is a lot cheaper. George says, what's Matt Pearson's like? He's meant to be moving our way. For me, look, I think it's a player that I think is a liability at the back. That's for sure. He's a liability at the back, but he's a threat in the box. When you've got corners and stuff, he does get a few goals that way. His professionalism is questionable. We saw that the back end of his time with us, very unprofessional, shushing the fans when we were just asking the ball to be played forward rather than constantly backwards. He's not. If you're wanting a player that, put it this way, when he's defending, He will kick the ball out a lot of times, just as a warning. He'll kick the ball out a lot of times. He is dreadful in terms of he's one of those defenders that is no nonsense defender. But he's not a very good defender. He's very slow, not got much pace either. So yeah, I don't really have great things to say about him. Yes, he does get a few goals. You know, he has scored a few goals for us, but defensively, for me, just very, very poor. Nigel Pearson, Michael said, no, I'm sorry, not for me, Michael, if I'm being honest. But yeah, mixed over. Yeah, look, for me, I'm more like, no, just not a fan of Pearson at all. And I think he kind of tarnished his time with the club as well towards the end when he was acting in the way he was. You know, storming down the tunnel, he's throwing his arms up in air just because he can't face any criticism. So yeah, no, I just don't think he's a very good player. Who would you like to come in? Keith, I've kind of already alluded to who I would kind of if I had to pick a few managers. I know I did say in my earlier video, if you hadn't really seen my video before when I was, when I think it was last week, wasn't it? I did a video on who would like to see the manager, who would like to see as the manager. I said that I wanted Des Buckingham. For me, Ruben's. Look, I've ruled David Wagner out of the picture now, guys. By the way, I just don't think he's coming. So that is why he's not in my top 2 anymore. Just don't think it'll happen. Just think we have to move on, unfortunately. Much as we'd love him back, I just don't think it'll happen now. It would have happened by now, as I said. I think Ruben Sellers is a player. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked now. I do apologize. Ruben Sellers is my number 1 choice at the moment, and then I'd go with Des Buckingham, Rob Edwards. That's the direction I'm going in. To be honest with you, Keith. Fair points, cheese. No worries. Orient or challenge to promote then. Look, I think everybody wants Orient to win. And of course, Nathan Jones can't keep Huddersfield Town out of his mouth. What a deluded guy this is. Honestly, did you see his comments last night about us? He's still talking about the playoff semi-final where we beat him. Basically, if he wins, he's fine to be an absolute clown. But if not, he's a sore loser, and no one should be happy. So for me, what an absolute disgrace he is. So yes, cannot stand the bloke. Doesn't deserve to get promoted anyway. So yes, Orient for me. Ryan Sealink above Ari, new favourite. I don't know what link you're talking about, but the new favourite is obviously Ruben Sellers. So I'm not sure what you mean. Orient, hopefully, yes, indeed. Buckingham is up there. Yeah, they're all the names I mentioned are actually obviously in the conversation. But yes, I think we're going to wrap it up, really, guys. But just before I go, if you haven't checked out my videos this week, I've been like I said, I've done daily uploads, Monday to Friday. If you haven't checked out my videos this week, if you missed any, do go back and check them out. So I did a few videos on who I'd like to see us sign as well. I did a 2-part series to that. So if you haven't checked them out, do go and check those out. So yeah, all the videos, all your support is greatly appreciated. We haven't gained any subscribers this evening, but not to worry. We have been going up recently. And like I said, the support has been crazy. If you look, I always like to have a look at my analytics of the channel. I've actually gone up by 43 subscribers in the last 28 days, which is crazy. Might not seem a lot, but it is. I just feel like with the consistency, the channel will grow because people like consistent channels, and that is how you get yourself out there, by being consistent. But yes, doesn't look like we're going to hear any news on the manager this weekend. But like I said, they need to be chipped in. It needs to start. Look, I said I'm disappointed that it hasn't been this week. Yes, I know that Kevin Russell has now departed as part of the coaching. Thank goodness for that. Did a video on that yesterday. But he should have been gone on Monday morning. And then we should have had at least a director of football in by now. And then a manager to follow next week. I just don't see what we're waiting for. What's the hold up? You know, Barry Murphy and Heffley. Yeah, I've already gone through all the people that have kind of been thingied. They're obviously on the list before Mitch. But yes, before we go, let's see how many likes we're on. 14 likes, fair enough. I mean, it would have been nice to get to 20. If you haven't liked the stream, do make sure you do like the stream. But yes, by the way, hopefully the audio's been good this evening. I am going to be getting some headphones or earphones to facilitate the background noise from the mic. I think if you plug your earphones in, you get a better sound quality with these kind of mics rather than just having it kind of no earphones in at all. Because I know I've kind of heard a bit of feedback on this mic without earphones. Because just for the best experience, you are told to get earphones for them, but it is what it is. And I'd love to give you 20 likes. Yes, well, if you've just joined, you can give me 15. But look, we're gonna wrap it up now. We've kind of said what I need to say this evening. To be fair, 16 likes. Big up to you all. Big love to you all. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Anyway, hopefully you did enjoy the show. The search continues for the next manager. Let's see what happens over the next few days. Probably not a lot this weekend, but into next week, let's see what happens. And just as a pointer, any breaking news, any latest news, anything like that, they may be live shows where I break the news of the new manager, of course, and react to it. And I'll be pretty going, you know, whenever there's an announcement with the manager, I will be going live straight away or within the hour to share my reactions to it. So yes, you know that once it's announced, we will, and anything with director of football, I might just do a video on the director of football, I'm not sure yet. But look, hopefully you are enjoying the content on the channel. And as I said, I do appreciate all your support lately. It is much appreciated. Honestly, it is. It means a lot to me. But yes, have a fantastic weekend. It is set to be another sunny weekend. Very nice and warm as well. So yes, enjoy whatever you get up to. And I'll be back with you guys on Monday for some more Huddersfield Town content. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and share the channel around with everybody that you know. And let's keep growing this channel. Thanks to everybody for tuning in, all your contributions this evening. It's been great to get your comments in. It's been great to read out your comments, sorry. But yes, until next time, take care, stay safe, and as always, up the town. See you later, guys. I'll be back with you all next week for some more content. Bye for now.